Good morning, students. Have you ever been to a grocery shop near your house? You might have observed that how shopkeeper place different items of the same name altogether. For example, different biscuits, that means biscuits of different brands placed together. Similarly, chocolates of different brands placed together. This is how he arranged different articles in his shop. Now here also, when we are dealing with structure of atom, when scientists they discovered about electrons and protons, it became necessary to find out how these electrons and protons were arranged inside the atom. So if we compare atom as the shopkeeper's shop, how these different items or articles they are placed inside this shop. This was the curiosity of scientists. And children, remember one thing, when the scientists they have started about this discovery of atomic models, then at that time there was no discovery of neutrons. Scientists were not aware about one more subatomic particles, that is neutron. Now to start with, the first atomic model was given by Thomson, which is also called as Thomson's model of an atom. Now Thomson's model of an atom state that an atom consists of a sphere of positive charge with negatively charged electrons embedded in it. So as you can see here, this orange part is representing the positively charged sphere, and we can see electrons are embedded in it. And the most significant part of this model is it says that positive and negative are equal in magnitude. So the positive and negative charges, they are equal in magnitude, due to which an atom is electrically neutral. It doesn't carry any charge because the magnitude of this positive and negative charges gets cancelled out, and that's why atom is neutral as a whole. It doesn't carry any positive or negative charge as a whole. And this model is also known as watermelon model or Christmas pudding model. As you can see, this red edible part resembling the positively charged sphere of the atom, and the black seed which are present in watermelon is just like electrons embedded in it. So as I told you, this model, since it resembles watermelon, this is also called as watermelon model or Christmas pudding model. Now this model has one limitation, that it could not explain the results of various experiments conducted by different scientists, because the result which we're getting after conducting different experiments was not in accordance with the model proposed by Thomson. But the main significance of his model is that atom is neutral as a whole. It doesn't carry any charge. After this, the second model was given by Rutherford, which is called as Rutherford model of an atom. Rutherford is also known as the father of nuclear physics, and he is famous for his work on radioactivity and the discovery of the nucleus of an atom with the gold foil experiment. And for this, he got Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1908. So what was his experiment basically? He designed an experiment in which the fast moving alpha particles were allowed to strike a very thin gold foil. Now for this, first we have to understand what are these alpha particles. These alpha particles, they are positively charged particles having 2 units of positive charge and 4 units of mass. We can say they can be represented as positively charged helium ion, He2+. And these are emitted by radioactive elements like radium or polonium. One of the most important point associated with alpha particles that they have very huge considerable amount of energy. So for his experiment, Rutherford, he made these fast moving alpha particles to strike a very thin gold foil. Now question arises, why he has selected gold foil for his experiment? Because gold is highly malleable and he wanted a thin sheet as far as possible, which includes minimum number of atoms for his experiment. That's why he has selected gold foil for his experiment. Now, as you can see in the diagram, he made to strike these alpha particles on this gold foil, and you can see in some particles that they are going straight, some are going different directions, some are coming back. So on the basis of all these, he made some observations. So these are the observations made by Rutherford after conducting his alpha gold foil scattering experiment. Now what you observe, children, that most of the alpha particles pass straight through the gold foil without any deflection from their original path. As you can see here in the diagram, most of the particles, they are moving straight without any deflection. A few alpha particles, they are deflected to large angles. So you can see some get deflected to large angles, and very few alpha particles completely rebound back on hitting the gold foil and turn back on their original path, just as a ball rebounds on hitting a hard wall. So most of the particles, they go straight, some get deflected to certain angles, and very few, they turn back, rebound back. Now, on the basis of these observations, Rutherford made few conclusions. First conclusion is most of the space inside the atom is empty because there is nothing which is interrupting with the path of these alpha particles. So that's why he assumed that most of the space inside the atom is empty, as most of the alpha particles pass through the gold foil without getting deflected. Now, very few particles, they get deflected to certain angles, which shows that there is something which is interfering with their path. And that something should be of the same charge. That's why they were experiencing repulsion, force of repulsion. So very few particles, they were deflected from their path, indicating that the positive charge of the atom occupies very little space. That's why very few particles, alpha particles, they got deflected from their path. And very small fraction of the particles, they get deflected by 180 degrees, 1 in 12,000. So suppose if he has radiated 12,000 alpha particles, then out of those 12,000 alpha particles, only one gets rebound back, which indicates that all the positive charge and mass of the gold atom were concentrated in a very small volume within the atom. That's why these alpha particles which get rebound back, they're experiencing very high force of repulsion due to the positive charge present in the atom. On the basis of these conclusions, Rutherford gave his atomic model. We state that there is a positively charged center in an atom called the nucleus. Nearly all the mass of an atom resides in the nucleus. So he has attributed two facts to the nucleus. First, the positive charge, and second, all the mass, nearly all the mass. So this is the first point about the atomic model of Rutherford. Second point, that the electrons revolve around the nucleus in a well-defined orbit. Now children, orbits are just imaginary line or the path which is followed by electrons while revolving around the nucleus. So Rutherford atomic model says that electrons, they revolve around in a well-defined path, which is called as orbit. Third point, the size of the nucleus is very small as compared to the size of an atom. And that's why, as I told you, 1 out of 12,000, they get these particles, they got rebound back after hitting the gold foil. Now Rutherford model, it made a huge success, but the one problem which was associated with Rutherford model was it does not explain the stability of the atom. This model could not explain the stability of the atom. So first, what was the limitation? Why it could not explain the stability of atom? That we will study in detail now. Now, according to the electromagnetic theory of physics, any charged particle under acceleration radiates energy continuously. And as we know that electron is also a charged particle, and since it is also revolving around the nucleus, that means it is also undergoing acceleration. So it should also radiate energy. Now, due to this radiation of energy, its own energy is decreasing, and gradually the speed will also decrease. And the electrons will then be attracted more strongly by the oppositely charged nucleus, due to which they will come more and more close to the nucleus. And ultimately, the electrons should fall into the nucleus by taking a spiral path. This should make the atom very unstable, and hence the atom should collapse. Now, as you can see in the diagram here, as I told you, electromagnetic theory is saying that says that any charged particle under acceleration radiate energy. An electron is also a charged particle which is undergoing acceleration. So it should also radiate energy, and due to this, its own energies should get decreased. And due to this path keep on decreasing, and ultimately it should fall into the nucleus. But this doesn't happen at all. We all know that atoms are highly stable and they do not collapse on their own. But Rutherford could not explain that how atoms are so stable. In spite of being a charged particle which is revolving around the nucleus, how can we make sure that atoms are highly stable? So Rutherford could not explain this, and that's why this model means after this Bose makes some modification in this model, and this is how this Bose model came into existence. But the main significance of Thomson model is that the atom is neutral, electrically neutral as a whole, and Rutherford model is the discovery of nucleus. This is the main significance of Rutherford's model. And this about Bohr we will study in the next segment. Okay, children, have a nice day. Goodbye.